The tow truck is one of many recent beta discoveries I have made. So in this video, I'll be telling you all there is to know about this mysterious beta vehicle. But before I do, let me give you some context. So back in late 2016, I bought an RVTH Wii console off a collector. It remains unknown how the collector got his hands on the console in the first place, but judging from the Rockstar New York sticker on the back of the console, it is possible that he bought it off a Rockstar Games playtester. You know, one of these people. Or perhaps even a Bully developer. Wait, hold on, Sweg. I thought Bully was initially released on the PlayStation 2. How can this be the beta version of Bully if it's on the Wii? I thought the Wii version came out 2 years after the PlayStation 2 version. How does that make any sense? And yes, while all of that is true, the Wii, for whatever reason, uses an older beta build of the PS2 version. While the reason for this remains unknown, this is why you can sometimes come across small differences when compared to the PC version, despite the fact that both the Wii and the PC version are both titled Scholarship Edition. The console I have is an RVTH Reader. These consoles are usually intended for playtesting and debugging purposes. Basically, what this console is meant to be used for is having games written onto it. It's essentially a one-way street as far as files go, so there really is no way of getting files off it. At least as far as I know. I will be looking into this later on. Although that may take quite a while before I do, and I'll get to that in just a moment. When it comes to moving files from and to the console, there really is no way of getting the files off it. At least as far as I know. And also as far as assemblergames.com goes, I decided to ask the people of that website if there was any way I could get these beta builds off the console, and there really is no way of doing that. I do have some audience members of mine that are eager to see if they themselves can get the files off the hard drive that the games are stored on, but the problem with doing this is that the hard drive isn't like your average HDD that you can just plug into your PC and open up. This hard drive was specifically intended for playtesting and nothing else. So while it remains unknown if there actually is a way to get the files off it, I'm very doubtful that it's ever going to happen. Not because I don't want to, because I genuinely want the community to have these files. But the problem is that there's no way of doing that. But that's not even the saddest part. I actually managed to brick the console during a loading screen. I shit you not. This happened when I was playing the mission Jealous Johnny in Chapter 3, which always crashes no matter what you do. During the loading screen, I decided to press the home button on the Wiimote to see if I could go back to the Wii's main menu, but in doing so I seem to have broken the Bluetooth module. The Wii is a very sensitive and flimsy device when it comes to components. Shit like this can very often happen unexpectedly, and this is one of those times. It remains unknown if the console can be saved or even what the problem may be. I tried to see if I could use the GameCube controller method as a way of seeing if the console was fully bricked or if something was halting the boot up, and it actually worked. The version number on the bottom right indicates that there's something preventing the Wii from booting up the OS, and from what I've read online, it appears to be caused by a faulty Bluetooth module, which, like I said, is a very common problem on the Nintendo Wii. I'm aiming to repair the console either this month or next month, or, you know, attempting to repair it. I have no idea how this will play out. If, or when I do, I'll be sure to stream it on my channel, so stay tuned for that, I guess. Either way, I thankfully managed to record about 24 hours worth of gameplay before the brick happened, so I do have a lot of fodder for content at least. One of many things I came across the first time I played the game was the mysterious beta tow truck. As soon as I booted up the game and began practicing the Wii's controls, I noticed that there was a vehicle passing by the academy that I had never seen before, and the vehicle was passing by the academy in reverse. So suffice to say that I had a lot of fucking questions. Immediately I decided to get past the school gates, and there was only one way I could do that. I had to play through Chapter 1 and unlock the gates via reaching Chapter 2. Although I actually found out later on that you can easily perform a common glitch around the girls' dorm which allows you to get out of the academy before reaching Chapter 2. This discovery was unfortunately made after I had completed Chapter 1, so joke's on me, I guess? I don't know.
With Russell pacified, I could be forgiven for thinking my troubles at Bullworth were over. But this place is a rotten onion. Peel off one stinking layer, and there's another even smellier one beneath.
As soon as the gates opened up, I skipped the introduction cutscene for Chapter 2, and it was on. I immediately began my search for the vehicle, and, well, it did not take long before I found it. right in the center of Bulworth Town. It's pretty obvious by now that this vehicle did not get far into development before being removed from the game. Both the collision model and the visual model are very low quality, and the same goes for the car's textures. The door is just one solid color, while the rest of the vehicle is just bright cartoony textures. From what I can tell, the car door seems to have a randomized color, just like all of the other civilian cars. And as you may have noticed, I don't know if you have, but this vehicle is very fucking buggy. It's actually so glitchy that sometimes the driver will often fail to properly get out of the vehicle without getting stuck. You know, like this. This is actually a problem that will sometimes occur in the final game, even on Scholarship Edition. And as you can see, the vehicle, for whatever reason, lacks the ability to rotate. Interestingly enough, this applies to all other cars in the game. The wheels also appear to be badly misplaced and, you know, very fucking ugly. The only parts of the car that will actually rotate properly are the headlights, taillights, and the collision model. The collision model being the model that is used for collision. It's that invisible wall thing that follows it around to make you not able to walk through it. Fun fact, you can actually hitch a ride with the skateboard just like with any other car in the game. You would think that this feature would be implemented after they made the vehicles not buggy, but no, this was prioritized above that. So the question remains, what happened to the tow truck? I decided to make a comparison between this version of the game with my two other beta builds, both on the same console. And by comparing which vehicles are in either one of the games, we can see that the tow truck would end up being replaced with this car, simply named Truck. I'm not really sure why Rockstar decided to remove this vehicle from the game, but it is possible that it simply did not fit in with the rest of the vehicles in the game, and especially the town of Bulworth. The tow truck is big, bulky, and awkward, while the other cars in the game blend in nicely with the town of Bulworth. And judging from the car that ended up replacing it, it's likely that Rockstar initially wanted the tow truck to appear on most roads in the game. The problem with this is that the tow truck takes up a lot of space. So much so that it kinda looks a bit fucking goofy most of the time. Personally, I would have loved to see a tow truck like this in Bully. Granted, the car really doesn't fit in with most areas of the game, but I do think that it would have been interesting to at least see the tow truck driving around blue skies. But hey, it seems as though Rockstar Games begs to differ. We have only begun to scratch the surface of what these 3 beta builds contain, so why not stick around? Subscribe for more and like the video and suck my dick and yada yada yada, whatever, you've heard this a million times. Yeah! SWEGTA out!